Okay, now I want to go a little bit deeper into your avatar. So for this next set of questions, I want you to think about your greatest case study now or in the future. So in other words, who is just the perfect case study for you? And if they don't exist for you, then imagine that case study. Who are they going to be? For me, I've got lots and lots of them. I've mentioned John Gallagher already. He's a fantastic. I mean, the guy was on food stamps, and now he's got this sizable business. It used to be food stamps to six figures. Now it's beyond that. And, he's got a team. He's making a huge contribution to the world. Got a great business. So he's a great case study. But I've got a whole bunch of them. But for this, I want you to think about your greatest case study. Someone you've already worked with, someone who's gotten great results, or someone you're going to have in the future if you haven't started out yet, if you're just starting your business. Who's that case study going to be? So make a fictional case study. But I need you to go there, to think about this person, to really, it will really help you in this exercise going forward. So remember, when you're selling something, it's about the transformation in their life. It's about the change in their life. It's about the before and after, like before they got your product and after. For me, John Gallagher, before he got my product, he was on food stamps. He had two young kids. He was not volunteering. He was working at a nonprofit. He was going to school to become an acupuncturist, trying to raise these kids. Him and his wife Kimberly, and it was crazy busy. They're on food stamps, couldn't make ends meet, and now he's got this business. He gets to do exactly what he wants all the time. He's gotten to move to exactly where he wants to move to. His kids go to the schools he wants them to go to. He's actually in my platinum program, so he's joined my high-end coaching program. He gets to hang out with me. I've actually gone and stayed at his house, in his guest house. I stayed in his guest house. He's had this amazing transformation. I can just think about that transformation. But it's not when he bought Practice Formula from me, he got a bunch of, back in those days, it was CDs and DVDs. So he got CDs and DVDs and books from me. So when he got PLF, he didn't get a book. He got the transformation of his life changing. And no matter what you're selling, no matter what you're going to launch, you're selling transformation as well. You could be transforming how they play the guitar, or how they meditate, or how they relate to their children. It's the transformation. You're not selling an online training course, or a webinar, or an in-person seminar, or a book, or a widget. You're selling how that's going to change their life. What is the transformation going to be? So I need you to focus on that as we move through this. So we're going to talk now about the transformation and the results that they're going to get in their life, they being your avatar. We just did this work on sort of figuring out who your avatar is. Now we're going to focus on how you're going to transform their life. So how has your product positively impacted their life? That's if you've got a current case study. If you're working with this future case study, it's how is it going to positively impact their life? How is their life different now because of your product? What is the transformation in their life because of your product? And not just now, but look into the future. Because, John Gallagher, he started that business. 10 years from now, he's still going to have that business. It's going to be way bigger. And it's going to be that much more impactful. He's going to be able to have helped that many more people. Maybe his kids are working in his business. So look into the future. We're talking about how you're going to transform their lives. If all of a sudden you've taught them how to have a home yoga practice, okay, well, their body feels better now. But 20 years from now, how is their body going to be different and their life going to be different 20 years from now compared to what it is now? You're changing the future for your people. And you really want to get focused on that, because this is going to help you as you move forward with everything you do. So look into their future, a year from now, 5 years from 10 years from now, and be as specific and concrete as possible. When I just talked about the changes in John Gallagher's life, from food stamps to now, like I said, he lives in the town he wants to live in, the house he wants to live in. He's got a guest house. His kids go to the schools that he wants them to go to. He gets to join my high-end coaching program. He gets to work with top experts in his field. All those things are very specific and very, very concrete. Okay, next, this is sort of the flip side. What will it cost your avatar to not have your product? what's the extra pain and frustration in their life? How much money have they given up or have they lost? What will they miss out on? And again, for all these, look into their future a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Again, going back to John Gallagher, if you didn't have my product, well, he had a bunch of board games made up. He'd spent like $20,000. He borrowed $20,000, I think it was, around a huge amount of money. He borrowed from his dad to get these board games made up. Had the board games made up, and he tried to launch it without, just on his own. Sold 12 of them. So he had literally pallets, boxes of these, filling up his entire house and his garage. And if he never sold those, I mean, how soul crushing would that be if, 6 or 8 years later, he still got all that inventory sitting there, thinking he borrowed all this money. It's just be this huge albatross around his neck. He wouldn't even be able to move forward. Think about that pain. Seeing those boxes in his house every day, year after year, that he had this dream, and he borrowed all this money for this dream, and it just was an utter failure. Instead he's sold all those games and ordered more and ordered more and ordered more, and now sold 50,000 of those games. But he would have missed out on all of that. Instead, he just have this pain and frustration of this dream that didn't come to pass, that was mocking him, laughing at him. Think about that pain and frustration for your avatar if they don't change their life based on what you're going to do for them. Again, look forward into their future. A year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And again, be as specific and concrete as possible. And now, who will your avatar become as a result of the positive impact of your product? So, how have they transformed? John has become this amazing leader. He's become almost like a guru in his market. He's become like the go-to person for other gurus to launch their products. He has become the pivotal person. When he goes to a convention about edible and medicinal plants and herbs, about foraging, when he goes to a convention, everyone they know who he is. He walks through the convention and people are walking up to him and talking to them, telling him about how his products have helped them. So think about, who do they become? Do they become a better parent? Do they become a better, brother or sister? They become a better friend? They become a pillar of their society? Look into their future. And again, be as specific and concrete as you can. And when you do this work, when you go through this, and I've gone through it very quickly, and I can talk about it, eloquently or somewhat eloquently, because I've been doing this work for years, thinking about this for years, and I've been working with people for years and seeing the transformation. So, but it will take you a little bit longer to work through this. But this is really important work, and this will, as you move through your launch, it will be so powerful for you to be able to talk about this, to be able to bring this into your launch. So don't skip through this. Actually do this work and identify the impact, the transformation you're going to have on your avatar. Finally, as you look at this video and the prior video and you do all that work, think about it. What did you just learn about your avatar? If you've gone through this work, you now know more about your avatar and you have a greater capability of marketing than almost anyone out there. It's just, this is incredibly powerful work. So don't skip it. Be sure you go through and you answer these questions and then revisit them over time, because it'll change. You'll learn more about your avatar and you'll be able to go deeper. And you'll be able to do it, like I said, you very well might have more than one avatar, so you'll want to work through this for each of your avatars.